Because his love doesn't exist. Episode 25. Did grandmother mention why that girl and I were switched?
She said she did it on purpose.
And you didn't feel anything after hearing that?
It was a big decision on her part to protect her granddaughter. Your parents might be going through a hard time, but that's better than losing their daughter forever.
This mustn't seem like such a big deal to you.
It's a shame, but I do understand. From your grandmother's point of view, I think it was the best way forward.
So ultimately, it was my sacrifice that had to be made for their real daughter.
Can you really call it a sacrifice? Compared to Yunhai, you grew up well off. You got an apartment, cash, and a huge portion of the stocks.
He even knows about the shares I got from grandfather. Grandfather pleaded with me to keep that a secret. He couldn't have leaked it. Did Guihyun find out on his own? So what you're saying is that I've got my share, so I should just keep my mouth shut and tidy up this family business in 5 years.
Keeping your mouth shut is a given. You also have to sort things out with Ijun.
Why?
You saying you're gonna keep seeing Ijun secretly while still acting as the betrothed? You think that's feasible?
Why not just reveal the truth? All I need to do is refrain myself from sorting out my family relations until then.
I want to keep things as they are right now. Any gossip past this point will be a liability for Midnight Sun Foods Incorporated.
His intentions were simple. Keep a distance from any unnecessary conflict, and when things have simmered down, all he had to do was take in Yunhai his wife. If I've had my share like you say, why should I have to cooperate? The Guihyun I knew seemed like a stranger once he found out the truth.
Yang Jin would have filed for bankruptcy ages ago if it weren't for Midnight Sun Foods Incorporated. If you want to keep in that way, you're going to have to cooperate.
The Guihyun in front of me was a completely different person.
It'll be better off for you to be a daughter of a rich CEO rather than one from a collapsing household.
You're threatening the victim here.
The victim is the Seorae Jeong clan household, not you. Grandfather in Suwon and my parents still believe you're really family. And in the case of grandfather, he gave you a part of the stocks not knowing that you're fake. If he finds out the truth, it'll crush him. We'll be lucky if he doesn't collapse.
The Guihyun in front of me was a totally different man to the one in my past life. With no effort at all, the quiet and reserved Guihyun received the great-granddaughter of the great Donghan Kim of the Midnight Sun legacy, along with the position of the director at the company. And of course, he was presuming he would inherit the entire company. However, the situation surrounding this man was changing. The Ijun who went to the States in my past life did not go abroad this time. This time, he entered Korea's top college. Guihyun also attended a good university, but it didn't compare to the prestige of Ijun's school. Also, I had liked Guihyun in the past, but now I like Ijun. From Guihyun's perspective, it must not be the greatest feeling in the world. After finding out Yunhai was the true bloodline of the great Donghan Kim of the Midnight Sun legacy, there was no way Guihyun would share the same feelings toward me as he did in the past. But the fact that he's still against me secretly seeing Ijun might be because of the fact that I perhaps will be revealed as the true great-granddaughter in the future. You've changed.
The world's changing. I have to keep up.
Fine. I'll do as you say. But give me some time to deal with Ijun. Breaking things off too suddenly will spark Ijun's suspicion. He's going to do all he can to find things out.
As you wish.
From the surface, it looked as though I was cooperating with Gwihyun.
And keep Yunhai's story a secret.
I hope that as well. But I didn't want any secrets getting out just as much as Gwihyun. And with this plan, I could at least secure the peace of my Hannam parents for the next 5 years.
Then let's do our best these next 5 years.
Aren't you even curious about the person you'll live with for the rest of your life?
I'm going to marry her anyway, there's no point in being curious.
Have you never even thought about dating?
Not really.
Why did I ever think the Gwihyun I knew in the past fell in love at first sight with Yunhai? She was working as the director's secretary. Maybe, just maybe. Gwihyun in my past life knew about the true identity of Yunhai but kept silent. And while making sure to keep his silence toward me, he was just waiting for time to pass. Why did that venerable think sending Yunhai away to a different family was the only way to survive? And I don't get why grandmother did as he advised. Nothing may have happened at all. If she were unlucky, Yunhai could have grown up in a poor family.
What I know is, before Yunhai was born, her mother had many miscarriages. Your grandmother visited a lot of renowned fortune tellers, but she was told her parents would not be able to give birth. From what I heard, they went through a lot of exorcism process too. Anyway, with all those complications, the nonsense coming from that venerable must have caught her ears. It's not rational, but she believed in the possibility. And I accepted grandmother's request to wait 5 years.
As the eldest great-grandson, you're being treated as a prince. And you still need the great-granddaughter of the Midnight Sun legacy as a trophy?
If I were a fourth-generation only son, I may have not needed her. But I'm not.
Does Ijun bother you? But Ijun wasn't interested in your business, and he's always wanted to live in the States.
But he didn't go. And he chose to study business management, the same as me.
So what? I played innocent with that question, but I was shaken. I thought of how Ijun studied computer science in the US in the previous life. Things were very different in this life.
It may mean that Ijun is starting to get ambitious.
He would be sad to hear you say that. He's very fond of you.
But we're not real brothers.
What? They're not related? What absurdity is this? This feels like the time I first discovered Yunhai and I were switched at birth. What? What do you mean?
My birth mother had me and passed away a few months later. My father was 24 then. He was the same age as me right now. He became alone at 24. He was too young to live his entire life alone. The head family went to a fortune teller and my new mother was the one who was brought in by unanimous decision. She was from a distinguished family. As soon as she got married, she had to raise a new son, but she didn't complain. She raised me well. She's a good woman. I truly respect and like my mother.
I didn't know.
Even I found out a few years ago. You couldn't have known.
Does Ijun know too?
Well, I've never talked about it with him. It's not exactly a fairy tale.
But, you've come so far without any trouble between you two.
Yeah. I almost feel bad that we've never had any issues.
Exactly, things have been good so far. So why would the fact that you're not related to become a problem now?
My father was a third-generation only son. That means he had no close relatives around him.
So?
He has no paternal relatives in the company, just maternal ones. And not only one, but two.
Now I knew why Ijun was so wary of Ijun. Even brothers who grew up as family had to face a crossroad. So that's why you didn't want to tell Yunhai was the real daughter to Ijun.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't want things to get sour between Ijun and me over that girl.
So Ijun wanted to keep me as a shield, to hide Yunhai's true identity from Ijun. But then wouldn't it be better for you if things work out with Ijun and I? The bond that you've built with the Jeong family for the last 20 years doesn't disappear overnight. Grandfather wouldn't be able to cast you out even if he finds out the truth. And your existence in our family, in whatever form it may be, would be an inconvenience for Yunhai. That means I wasn't able to build anything with you these past 20 years, seeing as how you want me to disappear completely from the scene over some girl you haven't even seen.
There's nothing I can do if you aren't the great-granddaughter of the great Donghan Kim.
But I still wanted you to marry the one you love, and live a long happy life. And that still hasn't changed. The fact that after having returned to the past, my only hope was to have my birth parents and Ijun to live a healthy life. The fact that Ijun wouldn't die in this life, the fact that he would marry Yunhai, whom he had fallen in love with at first sight, and live a long, happy life. Ijun wouldn't know those things.
Don't worry. I'm satisfied with my life. I plan to cherish Yunhai and live a good life.
Then I guess we have no reason to keep seeing each other.
No, Siyeon. We must. To reassure grandfather that we are still happy seeing each other.
Here's your iced Americano. It's already been half a year since I started working part-time at my friend Youngkyang's cafe.
Siyeon, the rush has died down, let's get some lunch.
Alright, let's. My high school friend, Youngkyang, always knew I came from a rich family.
By the way, Siyeon, you work 3 days a week here, after school, and you work at the factory on weekends. What are you going to do with all that hard-earned money?
I don't know yet. I'll tell you once I save up enough. She never would have guessed that I was working here out of necessity.
Did you get around to writing any pieces? I didn't write a word all week.
Youngkyang wanted to become a mystery detective writer. We had become close because we shared a common interest in writing. I wrote about 100,000 words. I want to know how the readers would react. I'm thinking of publishing it. Over the past 6 months, the novel I wrote occasionally helped me get over my idle thoughts, so I wrote whenever I could. When Ijun found out that I wrote, he asked for my pen name and genre, but I told him it would be a secret until I succeeded.
You've written a lot. Lucky you. But you're so busy every day. When do you have time to go see your parents?
When I get the time. I'd given a vague response, but it was a lie. I last met my icon parents for a meal before starting college. It's been months since I've seen their faces.